Hello everyone and welcome to Transfiguration. My name is Alexis Lorraine and I'll be your host this evening. Tonight we're going to be joined by Anslynn and we're going to have a nice conversation about all the wonderful things about being in a relationship with the challenges and wonderful things that happen when we're in relationships outside of the trans community. So just waiting for her to jump on and we'll get this thing started. I do apologize. I am still quite sick. I have a very bad cold, and I've been running around a lot today, so I'm a little under the weather. But I'm gonna get through this, so we're gonna be fine. Okay. Hi, Wendy. Hi, everybody. Hi, Charlie. Hi, everybody else. I hope everyone is having a great Saturday. Mine's been a bit crazy. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Stacy. So, I am all set for my move. Hi, Kristen. It's just a matter of getting everything in the car, which I've already practiced packing up. And so, that's going to be exciting and fun. And here we go. Let me bring her. Get this show started, shall we? I do apologize. I am very froggy. Hello.
Hi.
I apologize.
Oh, you're good. I've never did a live before, ever.
Oh, well then this will be exciting. It's very easy. We get to pretend like all the conversations that are happening aren't happening, unless of course they have something of substance to add, which typically is not the case. I will say this though, Julia is in the car driving to New York at the moment, so at least we don't have to worry about her bad influence. Hi, Lauren. Nice to see you. So, Anslynn, if you would please introduce yourself to these lovely people and tell them a little bit about yourself.
I don't know what to say.
Well, let's start with your name and your pronoun.
I'm Anslynn. I go by she, her, and hers pronoun.
See, that works. We can go from there. Okay, so now I think it's very funny as Anslynn was going to be one of the very first people I was going to have on this effort, and because of scheduling conflict, she actually gets to be part of the recorded part of it, which is super special. So that's great. You get to be on the YouTube channel, and you get to be the last person in this series before we go on I'm using the third person because I'm so special. Before I go on hiatus with my move across the country, so that should be exciting. And
that's exciting. So, like,
it's terrifying.
You don't like Charleston, or is it just like?
7 months ago, I was put into the hospital. 4 fractured ribs, 3 fractured ribs, and 1 completely shattered rib that was broken in 3 places. And then a skull fracture and a medically induced coma, a severe concussion, and a week later. And that was from getting jumped by 4 guys in a parking lot.
What?
They had come out of the store and passed me, and I'm normally on very high alert, but they had passed me, so I kind of wasn't paying attention to them. And then one of them came running up from behind me and pushed me down to the ground, and they all started kicking me and stomping on me. So
that's horrible. I did not know that.
No, it's not something I share too much. I do talk about it. I'm not it's something that needs to be shared. But also, I'm sorry. It's a story I've shared a few times at this point, but it's not common knowledge. I do most of the question asking, so it's not something I've had a chance to share. But and then on top of that, I've been screamed at gas stations in front of my children, calling me, a freak and an effing this and an effing that, and then on top of it, the challenges with being a teacher in South Carolina and the 21 parent complaints I got, the first day, the first week of school this year. It's too much.
I feel you, girl. Like, I moved to New York 2 years ago. And before that, I grew up in North Carolina. And let me tell you, growing up in the South, especially when you're trans, like, the two don't mix.
No, not at all. And I'm not from here, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, it's horrible down there. That's why I moved up here. Well, not one of the reasons why. My boyfriend's from upstate New York, so.
Right. So, well, that would certainly be a reason enough. I also have family over there, and some of, one of the people I consider my best friend in the entire world lives in Phoenix, so that's where I'm going to end up staying. So, and it's gonna be great. And the school district there has full trans health insurance.
Great.
And the cost of living is a little higher, but the pay for teachers there is quite a bit higher.
Really?
So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be about a 12% net increase in pay. So that's minus the.
Is it true y'all get paid once a month?
No, we get paid twice a month.
Oh,
we get paid.
okay.
We get paid on the 1st and 15th, but after taxes and all the required things and everything, I bring home about $22,000 a year.
20. What?
Yeah, and that's what I bring home. Now I make about 32, but
you were talking about the 22 was like after taxes.
Yeah, after taxes and after all the the union dues and all that stuff. Living on $22,000 a year as a single person with 2 kids, it's a bit of a challenge. So
yeah.
All right, enough about me. Nobody wants to listen to me. They're here to listen to you. So. Tell us, okay, so we know you started in North Carolina. Whereabouts?
It's called Salisbury. It's like 40 minutes north of Charlotte.
Okay, I love it. You still have your accent. That's great.
Yeah, it comes out.
Now, maybe I should just slip into that southern drawl, so that we can feel a little more comfortable. Because down here in Charleston, they have a different kind of southern accent.
Yeah, they do.
What's nice, though, is now with the cold, I can just slide right on into it. It's not even any work because it's all right up in the front of my face. Anyway, so at what point in your life did you realize that the gender identity that you had been assigned may not have applied to your true gender?
Well, sexual orientation, I knew very, young, kindergarten, 1st grade. But as far as gender identity,
mm-hmm.
When I was a little kid, I was always drawn to, Barbies and stuffed animals, just girly things. I never wanted to do boy things. And probably, I was 11 when I knew that I was a girl, but I at the time, this was 2006, so the internet was just coming alive, and not coming alive, but I don't know what I was trying to say. Anywho, that's when I knew I was different.
Just so we have a frame of reference, folks, in 2006 I was currently planning my 10-year high school reunion.
What?
Just so we can have this kind of age gap explained. Yes, I am an old woman.
You are not that old, hush.
I am 42 years old. I am an old woman.
You're my sister's age.
See, okay, that's another question. How did that happen? You're 12.
My mom had me and my brother. I'm a fraternal twin. She had us at 36. And my sister, my sister was 18 when we were born, so we're 18 years apart. So she's like my second mom.
I can see how that would work. Totally understandable. Okay, so all right, so it's a fairly young age, and I can completely relate. My personal passion was My Little Pony when I was younger. I just loved My Little Pony. Just absolutely loved them. I had this weird unicorn obsession.
Really?
Thank you, Jessica. It's nice to not be the oldest person in the room. So, okay. Now, with your fraternal twin, you're not the only one. You're the third person I've spoken to that has been a twin. And that's very interesting to me. So it's interesting how this is all working. So, but let's get back to the exploration phase of when you're trying to figure everything out. You said your sexual identity was very early.
Yeah, like, you know. I'm 7 or 8 years old. That's when, like, do you remember I used to be into Star Wars when I was little, and the third one, it was Anakin, that he was played by Hayden Christensen or something like that. That was my crush, and Jesse McCartney, that was my crush too. So that's when, like, the feelings, like, you know, I felt like butterflies, and I was like, oh, okay, like.
All right. Now, that makes me laugh because my son, when he wanted to go as Darth Vader for Halloween, and his response was, my ex was like, well, don't you want to be Anakin? Because it would be easier, right? And my son said, no, Anakin's a whiny bitch. And he's like 8.
Oh my God.
So funny. I thought it was so funny because I had to totally agree with him. You know, I was like, Hayden, really? Hayden Christensen, really? Don't get me wrong, Jesse McCartney is as cute as a button. But
he was hot in that movie, like that hair, and I don't know.
So you like the broody whiners? I get it. Got it. Okay, so the sexual identity is firmly cemented at an early age.
So,
and as is expected, you know.
Gender identity, like, I remember being in 6th grade and, like, hearing girls, like, talk about, like, their boobs were, you know, growing and this and that. And, like, I remember being at the school dance and I had my jeans on and I would put, like, paper towel. Don't judge, but I would put, like, paper towels. I'd go to the bathroom, put paper towels, like, in the sides to make it look like I had, like, hips. And I remember going to, me and, like, my mom, we always went to consignment shops growing up, and I would, like, sneak girl jeans into the pile at the checkout, you know, to see if she would notice. That, but yeah, and then
no.
I was 16, I was on the internet, I don't know what I was, like, looking at, but I remember seeing something, the word transsexual, and I read about it, and I was like, oh my God, like, that's me. That's how I feel. And it kind of just, like, from there, I started, you know, like, dressing like a girl, wearing makeup. At first, like, my mom, that's a story for another day, but, like.
Oh no, we've got an hour. We've got an hour. Okay. So, you know, we're gonna delve deep. We're gonna make you so uncomfortable. You're gonna feel like you've been oversharing. So.
I'm an open book. Yeah, that's when I started to be, like, full-time, when I was 16.
And still significantly earlier than a lot of people, but I think a lot of that has to do with your age.
Yeah.
For those folks in my age group, we didn't have the internet to supply that baseline information.
Right.
And so the first time we were coming across this information was much later in our lives. Mm-hmm. For me, it wasn't until I was, I knew that I wanted to be a girl since I was about 6. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I resigned myself to the idea that was never going to happen. And it wasn't until, 4 years ago now that I realized that, you know what, I couldn't keep trying to pretend to be something that I wasn't, because there was the end result was going to be, as like Samantha says, is, it's either I make this change or I end up killing myself, and it's traumatic and it's terrible and it's so damaging.
Yes.
But we do what we must, and so for you to discover it at 16, that's so far ahead of the curve, and I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we all have our own journeys, and if I had transitioned earlier, I wouldn't have the children that I have now, and I love my kids most of the time. So, now, and also I want to comment about the padding your hips you should not. Yeah, there's no judgment here, sweetheart. When I was in college, I had a friend of mine actually buy me a pair of padded undergarments because I had no ass. I had no ass at all. And so they were like, here, try this. And that's one of my favorite things of HRT is that I have a butt and I have some hips. And it's like,
yes, I like even before hormones, I had always had like a little bubble butt. But now, like being on hormones, it's more like it's less muscle and more like, you know,
squishy.
Yeah.
Oh, I completely understand. The first time, yeah, we'll come back to this, but it's a conversation that's worth having. Okay, so what was the first step? You know, so you're 16, you're still really young. How, you know, you started to go towards talking about, you know, how your mother felt about it and everything.
Yeah.
So,
my mom, okay, so like I grew up, I mean, I'm not religious, but my mom is Christian. And like growing up, I was taught that, you know, not taught, but just that, you know, being gay was a sin or whatever. And so at first, you know, like I came out as bi when I was 14. And then I came out as gay. And then when I was 16, you know, I guess my mom just started to notice, like, you know, me growing my hair out and wearing makeup. Like at first she wouldn't buy me makeup. And then I don't mean to like admit this, but I would steal makeup. Me and my best friend, we would go into the store with a bag, load it full of makeup and walk out. Cause like, you know, I wanted to express myself and my own freaking mom wouldn't let me.
Right.
Had to do what you had to do.
No, and absolutely, and it's like it's not like at that age you're going to be able to, you know, go up to a counter and buy this stuff without some kind of repercussions. So,
and that was before I had a job. But because I got my job at like 16, almost 17. Once I got a job, like I started, you know, buying my makeup, not stealing, because I'm not a thief. Or you know how you're young and dumb once.
Yeah, I mean, we young people make bad decisions. Just ask my student who just joined.
Oh yeah.
Young people make young people make bad decisions, and that's also why I keep my show PG-13, so we don't use, you know, too bad a profanity. You're more than allowed to swear, but oh, you haven't yet. But I'm like, I always, yeah, see, correct. I always try to keep it a little clean because I do have a group of my former and current students that follow. So,
really,
all right. Now, so you're starting to express yourself, and not with the acceptance of your mom, it sounds like. So how did you first, okay. Once you had figured it all out and everything, what was the steps what were your steps?
Well, I didn't really know what to do from there, so I'm trying to think. I moved out at 17, but it wasn't until when I was 18, I was working at a call center in Charlotte. And a guy I worked with, he was, you know, transitioning from female to male. And he told me, you know, because I had never met a real life trans person until then. And, you know, he was telling me how he's transitioning and this and that. I was like, oh my God, like, hi. You know, like, I want to get on hormones and stuff. And so he gave me the name of his therapist, and I went to therapy, and it was right before, like 2 weeks before my 19th birthday, I started HRT. And I called my mom and I told her, you know, I was like, you know, Mom, I am a woman. I want to live my life how I want to, you know, I'm grown and you only have one life and I'm not going to live my life a lie, you know?
Yeah. And
so
how did that go?
At first, no, it wasn't good. Like, yeah. I mean, not like she disowned me. Like, my mom, she's not one of them, like, Christians that, like, you know, shun the non-believer. She's not like that. Like, my mom,
you mean mine that said you have to go to conversion therapy or I have no child?
Yeah, my mom would never do that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at first it was hard for my mom. But, you know, now she's accepting to a certain extent. She uses the right pronouns. She uses my name. Like, and, you know, everything's legally changed. Like, so, yeah.
I mean, and, you know, we have to look at the long run and the big picture sometimes. You know, sometimes our transition is hard on people, especially those who have been in our, you know, who have our parents. You know, they are struggling with it. But, you know, we have to look at the long run and see how it comes out in the end. And if they're being genuinely, or they are genuinely trying to be supportive, whether they are successful or not, we do have to take into consideration their intention. And in this case, I think it sounds like she's trying. So
yeah, and like my brother and sister, they are like I have a very supportive family, and I'm very blessed for that. And, you know, like my mom, she has left me I'm on her insurance for a couple more years, and her insurance is very like trans friendly.
That must be nice.
I'm very blessed.
So, now with the hormone therapy, now I'm gonna say your voice is amazing. You have such a beautiful feminine voice. Now, has that been the result of any procedures, or is that just voice training?
No, I've never did voice training. Swear to God.
You just happen to have it.
I've always had like a feminine voice, and it's weird. Like,
thanks so much. That's this interview done. I'm done talking to this one. I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing you.
Yeah, it's so weird because like I don't think my voice has changed, but when I went back home last year to visit, like people tell me that my voice has changed from hormones, but you know, I don't think estrogen changes your voice.
It doesn't. So, but you were also
always had, you know, I've never had a deep voice, and I'm so glad.
And I think that might also be because you started when you were at the end of your teen years before
I started at 19.
I mean, exactly. So, you know, your voice hasn't completely finished adjusting at that point. So you probably got in there before testosterone could damage your vocal cords.
I still have this. Oh, I hate it.
Oh, girl, come on. Look at this. It looks like I swallowed the whole damn apple.
Oh my God.
I haven't.
No, it does not.
Okay. A tracheal shave is on my higher list of things to do. I'm actually more interested in a tracheal shave than anything else. Just because I can't, no. I'm like, this, I'm 42. I'm lucky it's not like down here.
Right.
You know, and, you know, my hairline and everything. But what's funny is I've had this hairline since I was like 17, 18. So, you know, I'm not overly upset about this. But, you know, I have nice hair. My hair is nice, so.
I like your haircut, by the way. Whoever did it looks really good.
Well, if you're ever in the South Carolina area in Somerville, there's a place called Vintage Hair Studio, and they are fabulous.
You live in Somerville?
I do.
Okay. My brother and sister, they live on James Island. It's like,
okay.
Yeah, near Folly Beach.
That's about 45 minutes from here. That's not far at all. So, anywho, yeah, I mean, I've been very happy with it, but my Eve's apple, my gigantic voice box is sucky.
Yeah. I want this, like, if I were to ever get FFS, but, like, my mom's insurance, it doesn't cover that. But
no, a lot of times they consider that to be cosmetic, yeah.
I just want my Adam's apple gone. I want my brow bone, like, shaved down or whatever.
Right.
And my nose. Like, that. Those are the things that really cause me dysphoria. The 3 things. And maybe some, like, cheek implants, but I don't know.
Well, you got, you know, if you're going to be doing it, they've got your face off of your skull.
Right.
It might go for you.
Horrible.
Oh, at the Philadelphia Trans Wellness Conference, I actually sat in on an FFS seminar, and the information shared changed my whole idea of FFS. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
Nope.
and I know, like, I'm in a couple groups on Facebook, like I want to choose, I really have my mind, if I ever do get that, and the money, I have my mind set on one surgeon, Dr. like Keo Jimpa in California.
Okay.
But, like, a lot of girls, like, I know girls that just have been botched. Like, some people, you know, they can't lift their eyebrow. Just, you know, you have to really choose.
And yeah, you absolutely do. You have to do your research. You have to find the highest quality surgeons, and it costs a bit, but you know, like, okay, so my friend Noah, who's a trans man, we were talking about, you know, surgeons for the procedures, and he is a perfectionist just like me. So he was like, well, this person is available faster and for less money, but the reviews aren't great, and this person is more expensive, and I have to wait longer, but their reviews are great. And I was like, well, no, we're talking about what you're going to be seeing every day, you know. So, you know, you have to decide what you can live with.
Exactly.
But anyway, so let's get into how you met your boyfriend.
How I met my boyfriend.
It's like How I Met Your Mother, except different.
We were working at Wendy's together, and when I first met him, like, I mean, I was like, oh, you know, he's cute, but there wasn't like, I don't know, I wasn't like head over heels, but he started, you know, flirting with me, and then I caught feelings. I started flirting with him, and then I added him on Facebook, and then one day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna, you know, shoot my shot. So I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, because at my other job, I was working 2 jobs at the time, I won a gift card to Ruby Tuesdays. So I was like, hey, you know, we should go to the mall and hang out and go get something to eat afterwards. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm down. And then started from there, and then 4 years later, here we are.
Oh, my heart. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
I love how you say you caught the feels. Like, you know, he wore you down. I get it. You know, and sometimes that's just how it is. We don't automatically immediately feel, you know, that smitten kind of thing.
Right.
Sometimes we do. For me in my current emotional situation, absolutely I did, right from the beginning. She'll totally deny it, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I get it. Now, when you first, I mean, you were already presenting female at this point?
Yeah, I was we met in 2015. I had been on hormones for like a year and a half. Well, a year and a couple months. Yeah.
And so, and he identifies as heterosexual.
Yeah.
And so.
And he's
cis heterosexual.
Yeah.
Cis het. And so how.
Well.
I mean, it's not the easiest path for a cis het male. So, I mean, you know.
He doesn't care what people think, and that's what I love about him. Like, before him, I, you know, tried online dating, and just a lot of guys, like, they just want you to fuck, and that's...
Yeah, you're their fetish.
And then 2, like, a lot of them don't want to be public, and I'm like, I'm not going to be kept secret, and I'm not just something, you know, I'm not going to be used like that. And that's what I love about him. Like, he doesn't care what people think. And, you know, like, yeah.
That is truly amazing. And I wish there were more like him.
I know. I'm very blessed. Like, he is literally my best friend.
I'm not crying. I'm sorry. I've been very emotional today. Apparently, mixing my dosage of estrogen with cold medicine makes me very weepy.
So, do you do shots or pills?
I do pills because everything is out of pocket for me. Because my insurance, though I have great medical insurance, it is trans exclusionary. It has specific language in the insurance that excludes all transgender care.
That's
and
horrible.
so, oh my goodness, you have no idea. So I'm paying all this money for insurance that I can't use. And so I'm paying for my doctor's appointments and my prescriptions all out of pocket. And while I would prefer to do injections, they are significantly more expensive. So
that's what I do. I did pills for like 3 months and then I went to injections. But the first 2 years, my doctor down south had me like on a horrible dose. And then I found some groups online, you know, and I took matters into my own hands. And like, once I moved up here, I found a better doctor, got me on a higher dose. And
yeah, I'm actually max dosage on both right now. 200 milligrams of Spiro and 8 milligrams of estradiol, every day.
Do you swallow it or do sublingual?
Sublingual.
Sublingual.
The estrogen is sublingual, and I'm really good about that too.
Yeah.
So it's it's under my tongue and my mouth stays closed, and so it's like,
yeah.
Which takes forever. It does not. When you have 2 pills under there, it does not dissolve that quickly.
I know.
But yeah, so I'm fortunate. My T levels are very low, and my estrogen levels are about 200 above normal for a woman my age. But to be fair, a woman my age is experiencing a decrease in estrogen at this level.
Right.
So I also don't look like a 42-year-old woman, and I don't act like one. That's for sure. So just ask any of my students.
Somebody put what about progesterone? Let me tell
you. Okay. Go.
I have a lot. Let me start. So, I used to take medroxyprogesterone, but that shit's bad for you. It causes cancer, and it made my anxiety throughout the roof.
It increases anxiety and agitation, increases insomnia, and it also increases depression and suicidal thoughts.
So then I took Prometrium, which is a bioidentical progesterone, and that helped. And then I started injecting it. Well, I injected it for 2 years, and I will say it does help with breast growth. It mainly helps with like nipple and areola more than breast. Hey, stop it! Sorry, my cats. They're fighting. It mainly helps with like nipple and areola formation rather than like breast growth. I feel like progesterone, it makes you like bloated. I don't know. That's why people are like, oh, my boobs are bigger. Like it's the waterway, girl.
Right.
But yeah, I can say like, as me personally, like it did help like nipple and it doesn't, how like you guys and girls have different nipples, and you know what I mean, like, and it really does help. But I stopped taking it because it just made my anxiety so bad, and it would cause my hair to grow faster, and it just has more cons, and I feel better emotionally without it because it made me really bitchy.
And a lot of the benefits of progesterone are achievable once you have the Orky procedure or the bottom surgery.
Right.
Because once you're off of Spiro, which is causing you to lose all of that water retention because, it is a diuretic and you're going to the bathroom every 5 minutes and
Right.
you're craving pickles, which, don't get me wrong, I loved pickles before, so this isn't an issue.
Yeah.
But, that the Spiro is causing you to lose all of that liquid weight, that fluid weight, which is so hard on your system. But, once you have the bottom surgery or the orchiectomy, you're not losing the water, and so you'll have the swell. Now I have a wide rib cage. I don't have a wide rib cage, but I have an athletic breast structure, so I am never going to have cleavage. It's just never going to happen for me. But I am hoping to have a nice little swell, just so if I wear an undercut, a push-up bra, I'll have like a little bit of.
Like, I mean, like this shirt's not low cut. I mean, I'm fairly skinny, but like if I wear a really good push-up bra, like, the girls look good.
And I'm actually wearing a sports bra right now because I was running to the I was at the hospital just a little bit ago, but I'm wearing a sports bra and I have no padding on it, and this is after a year and a half. So
Right.
yeah, so I mean, and I'm very slender, so this growth here is I'm perfectly happy with it.
I'm skinny too. Like, I'm 5'9", and I weigh like 145. Like, I'm used to just be like so obsessed with like trying to gain weight, but I'm just, I tell myself, I'm like, you're beautiful, no matter what size, and
Yeah, you are. By the way,
thanks.
just in case you haven't had that affirmation today, you absolutely are. I'm sure there are girls on here that are just like, because I mean, the trans women are just like every other woman that will be like, you look so great. Oh God, you're so pretty, bitch. Now I would never say that. I am all about support and love. A little jealous though. But hey, I started my transition 25 years after you did, so, I'm grateful for what I got. And I think that's what we really have to accomplish, is the fact that we have to be accepting of what our bodies are capable of producing. I'm not a good candidate for breast augmentation. So, because they'd have to put it underneath the muscle. And no, thank you. So.
I thought about that, but honestly, like, my mom, one of her cousin's daughters had breast implants, and one busted, and she got really sick from it. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm okay with my size, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, as long as you can look at yourself and be happy with the woman you see, that is the whole point of transitioning.
Exactly.
When we start getting into the things where we're looking at ourselves and being like, oh, I wish my boobs were bigger. Oh, I wish I had a slighter chin or a smaller nose.
And I'm mad about that. I'm over I think I have body dysmorphia because, like, my friends up here will be like, girl, you look good. And I just, like, sometimes I just don't see it. Like, all I see is man. I don't know.
Oh, no, and I have that same problem. I have come a long way. If you look at my pre-transition pictures, and this is only a year and a half ago, talking to my friends, they're like, I don't see you. You're not in those pictures. And so now I want to talk about this. Dylan, you say you're so jealous of how feminine our voices are. Right now I have a cold. So what you're hearing is entirely due to sick head. And that brings my voice forward into my sinus area, or into the mask, and that produces the more feminine sound. Now, if I'm going to do my actual presentation feminine voice, this is going to be how it sounds as I bring it forward and it brightens up, and then I just lift it a bit. It's not necessarily about tone, but you can absolutely present with a much more feminine voice just with a little bit of practice. Right now I'm being a little lazy because I'm sick. So
I tried. I used to look at videos of like voice training.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, it's hard. Like, you gotta like.
Okay. To be fair,
your throat, and I'm like,
No, to be fair, for me, I got a full ride scholarship for voice for singing. into college, and I spent 3 years of 5 or 6 different chorus classes, private voice lessons, voice therapy, all kinds of things. So my understanding of my vocal instrument is significantly more advanced probably than just the average person. So I actually haven't watched a great number of videos because I'm always like, okay, waiting for something new here, folks, you know. But a lot of it comes down to, it also depends on where you're from. The vocal range that you do, women speak with a broader range of tone. So we can go up higher and down lower than the average man. The average man sticks in a very narrow range of tone. And then we also have, I tend to uptick at the end of my sentences. And that just gives it another slight lightening to it, so that at the end of the sentence, you just kind of uptick at the end, and it creates that femininity. But we're here to talk about Anslynn. So I'm so sorry, I'm like choking here. Now,
hold on, I'll be right back. Sorry.
That's certainly fine, and I will talk to these wonderful people. So, yes, it is about the inflection. It's about the inflection and the intonation of what you're talking about. So, that's a cute dress. I like that.
Oh, girl, it's the top. I don't even match. I have on like leggings because I'm being a bum. I got these. These are Halloween leggings from Walmart.
See, I'm just wearing my jeans.
Those are cute.
Look, see, I got a butt.
Do I have a butt?
Yes, you do. Oh, look, they're Halloween leggings.
Yes, that's why I got them, because I love Halloween. I wanted to introduce y'all to my boyfriend, but he's an asshole. He's a shy guy.
Orange juice and ginger ale would be fine. I'm going to stick with the whiskey. I'm not drinking whiskey. So
I'm going to show you.
No, only with his permission.
Hey,
only, no.
Say hi.
No.
Say hi.
Hold on.
He's grumpy.
Well, I've seen pictures. He's on your page. If anybody's interested, they can go and look at him there.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Leave the poor man alone.
Huh?
Leave the poor man alone. Now you're going to owe him something. All right. All right, so let's talk about your desires for the future and everything. What are you looking firstly, if you don't, now this is getting into personal questions, and I don't care for this part of it, but
Love you. Yes, you do.
Yes, she does. She's just making bad choices,
what were you
like
saying?
A young person. Now, what I was wondering is, what are your hopes for like long-term transition? Full transition, complete top to bottom, everything. Kind of.
Well, I had an orchie in 2017, and I am getting bottom surgery. I had a consultation with Dr. Ting when was it? February? Like last February. And I actually had my surgery date for November of this year. But I just, like financially, I had to, save up and
Right.
not save up for the surgery, but for because you have to stay in New York City for a month.
Right. What clinic were you, or what hospital was it going to be at?
Mount Sinai.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Talk to Erica.
Huh?
Talk to Erica.
Erica? Okay.
Erica Forever After, because she's recovering from hers now, and she
oh, sorry, but
she got an Airbnb for the week and everything. So but there are options, and the one thing that's great about the trans community is that we're such good resources for each other. Mm-hmm. There are so many of us that have gone. So many others have gone before. I haven't had anything, so I can't talk. But
I'm actually going with Dr. Evanesian, his assistant instead, or not his assistant. He taught her, and I personally, I like her results better. I mean, everyone's different. Not everyone, but I like her results better. So I was supposed to have a consultation with her next month, but they called me about 2 weeks ago and said, oh, she's going to be going on maternity leave and won't be back till April. So now my consultation got pushed up till April.
I'm so sorry.
Sad.
Yeah, it's a long waiting game.
I'm not in a rush. That causes me dysphoria, but I'm not in a rush.
Yeah, I've actually been exploring the, I used to work for an airline. So, being able to travel all over the world, I've actually been looking at the option of going to Thailand, where they have some really wonderful clinics.
Right.
What's his
name?
Yeah, that's right. And there's one of the members on here. She's under the handle A Time of Transition. She actually just went into that route there. Of course, she lives in Australia, so it makes much more sense.
Oh, yeah.
But if I'm on the West Coast, which I will be soon, it's far easier because I can just go from California to Thailand. So
right, it'll be flights.
Right. The total cost ended up coming out to like about $12,000.
Like for the surgery?
For everything.
For everything.
For surgery and 2 weeks recovery after. So that's nice. But it just depends. And I mean, everybody's situations are different. Now, once I get the full trans coverage insurance, I may have different choices,
Yeah.
And I still may not choose to go for the bottom surgery. I haven't when I first started transitioning, I was like, no, I'm going to be fine. I just want my boobs. I want my boobs and I want to pass, which is such a horrible thing for me, to want to pass. Because, I don't know if I ever am going to get there, but, whatever.
Girl, you look good.
Thank you.
And fuck what anyone has to say. Like, haters are going to hate. Like, they're everywhere. Like,
and they are. And they're vocal. And they're mean.
And especially down south. Like, up here, like, upstate New York, like, honestly, I love it up here. Like,
right.
It's just so... People just don't give a fuck. Like,
right.
They don't. Like, they're like, okay, like... Come here.
You just live your life, which is how it should be, for heaven's sake. That's what it should be like. Hi, Megan. Nice to see you. Okay, so...
Here's my bee.
What? Pardon? Oh, kitty. Pretty kitty.
His name's Spooky.
Spooky?
Yeah.
So you really do like Halloween?
But, yeah, not like obsessed, but yeah.
Says the girl who's wearing Halloween.
Megan's watching.
Yes, Megan's watching. She's an amazing person. And she was just having a great afternoon, I'm told, with Julia, who went down to see her. So that was nice. Okay. So we only have about 12 minutes left, and I'm sure we have so many more questions to ask, and we'll definitely bring you on there. She's all right. Well, she had really wonderful things to say about you, Megan, so, I get it. Okay. So, as you've transitioned, what have been the moments of euphoria for you? What has been the most inspiring moments that have really given you hope that everything's going to be okay?
I don't know. Like, surgery.
Okay.
Getting, like, my gender marker changed and getting my name legally changed and, like, going and getting my ID and just, like, seeing, like, my picture and my legal name and just knowing that all that, that I don't know, it caused me great happiness.
Yeah, I can understand why that would be the case.
And then, like, my boyfriend being, so supportive I'm just, like I said, I am so blessed to have him.
I have to say, having trying to travel this journey alone scares the Jesus out of me. The fact, and I have a decent support group now. But when I first started transitioning, it was just my partner, who wasn't that great. And now I have so many wonderful friends to turn to on here and in real life. And this is all entirely because of the Philadelphia conference. Mm-hmm. But I hear about women and men and non-binary individuals going through this transition period almost completely alone. And the idea of that absolutely terrifies me for them.
I couldn't imagine. I really couldn't imagine. Like, actually, I have a friend up here. He's female to male. I mean, I'm his friend, but like he lives by himself. It's sad because he's alone, and I always try to be there for him because it's tough being alone, and especially transitioning. Like, you need a support system,
Absolutely, you do. And if you can't have it from your natural family, you need it from your chosen family. And so I agree completely. Now, let's turn the tables a bit. What have been the things that caused you dysphoria? Now, I get it.
But, you said dysphoria?
Dysphoria, yes. Besides this,
a little bit of like stuff on my face. My shoulders. My shoulders are broad, but I mean, thank God I have hair, like, to cover it.
And to be fair, I mean, women are not built all stick figure thin. We're not all, we're not cookie cutter Barbie doll cutouts,
Yeah. But yeah, my shoulders, and I'm trying to think. That's really about it. Maybe because I'm I'm 5'9", so it's not like I'm like super tall, but I'm okay with my height. So yeah, my shoulders, my Adam's apple, and my nose and brow bone.
Still think you're gorgeous, but whatever. So now here's the thing. How rare is it for you to get misgendered?
I can honestly say I haven't been misgendered in about 3 years since I lived in. The last time I was misgendered was North Carolina, because down there, girl, like,
they do it on purpose.
Rude. They do not.
They do it on purpose.
When I worked at Wendy's, I always worked the drive-thru, and I would have people, like, I would hand them their order, and they would be like, "Thank you, sir," and I'd be like, "Really?" Like, thanks.
Okay, so I was getting my nails done. I got my nails done.
I was like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe that."
Yeah, got my nails done and had my hair down. I was wearing a dress, and this woman goes, "Have a nice day, sir." What?
Yeah, like, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, it must be a duck. Like, come on. How rude can you be?
I know, right? And it was so funny. And it was funny because a couple of my friends were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I was like, no, my video was more out of just like, how stupid was it? I wasn't upset. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't dysphoric over it. I just was like,
yeah, it kind of. Yeah.
I'm like, I know I don't pass up close. But at the same time, if I'm wearing a dress and I have a cute pair of little heels on, and I'm getting my nails done, I have my hair all pretty, I have makeup on, I'm speaking in a very feminine voice, which is what I do when I go out for safety's sake. So, I'm very expressive. Now, I want to know about your shoes. So you're 5'9", you're right at that edge of being tall for a girl, being like quite tall for a girl. How much do you avoid heels?
If I wear heels, yeah, I don't like how. 6 foot.
Reminder, my PM dosage of my HRT kicked in. I keep forgetting that it's
Okay, I was like, where'd she go?
So I'm 5'8", and so I don't mind heels. I try to stick below the 3-inch mark, because at 3 inches, at 4 inches, I'm 6 feet tall. 3 inches, I'm only 5'11". Fortunately for me, the person who I'm interested in is 5'9", naturally, with no heel or anything. So I get to be the cute little one, which isn't true. I mean, we're like the same height in all, in if you look at us, you wouldn't be able to see which one's taller. But
honestly, though, like I like my height. I have really long legs, so
yeah, and that's the nice thing too.
They look good in shorts.
I look, and that's the thing too, is I love like wearing really tight fitting clothing with shorts and everything, because I love my legs. When I was younger growing up, I was never upset about my physique, because I loved being feminine. I just wasn't supposed to love being feminine. And so that's where my dysphoria came from, is that I wasn't living up to the, trying to be this bulky person. I love being petite. I love being feminine. And I've got great legs. There are a few pictures with my legs out. So they're a little thin. I need to get a little bit of meat on them, but I don't, all of my cardio.
I mean, mine, I don't know. I'm trying to show you my leg.
We can see your feed. We can look at your pictures. And that's the same with mine, too. If you want to go through my pictures and everything, and I actually have a page that is solely devoted to the more showy pictures that I have. Because as a teacher, I can't just post whatever I want.
Right.
Because my page is public. So.
Oh my God. So, you know that dress, it was like, looks like paint was on it, or that pretty colored dress you have?
Yeah, the one I wore yesterday.
For some reason, have you seen the Magic School Bus? It made me think of Miss Frizzle. I was like, oh,
now, what's really funny about that is the dress that I was originally looking at was covered in stars and planets, but its bust measurements were like way too big for me. Way too big. I would never fill it out in a million years. So this dress that I got had a much smaller bust line. So I was able to fit into it better. And it fits me so... I mean, it fits me like it was painted on.
Really?
And I had more than a few people message me saying,
"Hey, girl." Yeah.
And it's funny because it became my top liked picture of all time on Instagram.
Really?
325 likes and 120 comments.
What is up with that comment?
Hold on.
I don't even like that word.
Yeah, we're
like, really?
Hold on. There we go. Bye-bye. Okay. All right. We're down to the last 2 minutes. Is there any advice you would like to give to our baby trans or our little eggs that are just now breaking?
Be yourself, no matter what anybody thinks, because it is your life and you only have one life to live. And just stay true to yourself.
Well, there you have it, folks. My closing lines have already been taken care of. So, once again, from Transfigure Nation, thank you so much for joining me tonight, Anslynn. You've been an absolute joy to talk to. Always remember, folks, to love yourself at all times, no matter what and in no matter what situation. Be kind to others, but never let them make you feel less than what you are. That's it for us tonight on Transfigure Nation. Join us again when I actually get the show back up and running. We're going to be on a bit of a hiatus for probably at least a couple of weeks. We'll get back up and running, and we will pick up where we left off on this rather unusual adventure. And so, thank you again. Thank you for joining me.
Best of luck. Safe travels.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye now.